Negligence. What is negligence? Negligence is when you fail to take reasonable care for another person to avoid any dangers that could cause them harm. This means that if you work at a place, for example a sports centre, you need to show a really good level of manners towards your employees and also do anything to keep them safe. Negligence means careless conduct injuring another, breach of duty of care and injury, damage or loss resulting from or caused by that breach. For example, if you are a coach, you have a duty of care towards your pupils to make sure that all the dangers around them are eliminated and so that they are in a safe environment. If you, however, don't do anything possible to keep them safe and keep them in a safe environment, you're being negligent. So the supervisor may be careless in their actions, such as not carrying out a full risk assessment which resulted in injury or even a death. If someone is deemed to be negligent, they may be held liable for any injuries or damages to the people involved. A good example would be if you were a coach in a sports centre and you had a basketball session and you allowed your players to play on a wet floor even though you knew it was dangerous, you would be negligent towards them because you were not following your duty of care to keep them safe at all times and eliminate all dangers. In this case, the wet floor, which could cause a serious injury if one of the players slipped on it. In loco parentis is a Latin word that means in the place of a parent. It's really easy to understand as the word itself gives it away. In loco parentis is the authority that parents would assign to another responsible adult that will be taking care of their child, for example a teacher or a coach. If, for example, a child is going on a school trip, the teacher is in loco parentis for the child, which means that he has the same responsibilities for that child for the amount of time the child is in that person's care. This means that the teacher would then have to make sure that the child is safe in any possible way because the teacher has a legal obligation and a duty of care to make sure that the child is safe and that all risks and hazard around that child are eliminated. This means that in loco parentis is based around health and safety. If there is a football session in a sports hall and the coach is a positive in loco parentis, then, for example, if a child gets hurt, then he will help the child and possibly take the child to hospital and provide the correct help to that child. However, if the coach is negative in loco parentis, then he wouldn't have the responsibility to help the child. He would just help the child get up or sit out for a bit and not provide that child with the correct help necessarily needed if he's not responsible for that child. Duty of care. All employees and employers have a duty of care towards other people wherever there is a potential risk or danger. The duty of care is a legal obligation to anyone, for example, coaches, teachers, etc., because if they have a group of people, like students, to take care of, the legal obligation is to eliminate all dangers and risks so that they can be in a safe environment and that no one gets hurt. Duty of care has three principles. Does a duty of care really exist? Is there a breach of duty? And did the breach cause damage or loss to an individual's person or property? If, for example, in a sports centre there is a football session and the sports hall floor is not dried properly and a kid slips and hurts himself, the coach could be sued for negligence. This is because it is the coach's duty of care to make sure that the kids will be playing in a safe environment and not somewhere where they could potentially be injured. A higher duty of care is very similar to a duty of care, as it refers to a legal obligation to one person, for example, again, a coach or a teacher, to ensure safety of their class or group. It is recognised that there is a higher duty of care owed to children and young people, as this is something that those working in sport with children and young people must reflect. The Occupiers Liability Act 1957 suggests that an occupier must be prepared for children to be less careful than adults would be in a similar situation. We also have a higher duty of care to those that have learning and medical conditions, as they are more vulnerable.